All right. Loading. Ow.
Ooh, Atlas, what?
That's kind of a cool load screen. Did they ever do
It
that
is.
before?
It's all like 3D and stuff. Not
Hmm.
really.
No.
Not before or since.
It had to be Odin Sphere that brought it out to the forefront.
Yeah, and like there are some like responsible little things that I didn't even notice before too, like ball escape. Like what the fuck is ball escape?
Space Escape.
Base escape. Oh well,
Yeah.
they need a better logo than shit. So anyway, that's probably why you don't see them around much often. Yeah.
And this 2D goodness here, look at that. It's beautiful.
Oh, dude, yeah. This game, even like, it's so strange because like this is pumping out at 720. Oh, by the way, so Press Pause Radio Play. We've got on tap for this evening. We've got yours truly, Georgia Boy Zax, and then to my right, who we got to my right? You guys fight for it.
Me. I'm gonna be on the right because.
Okay.
I concede defeat.
Thank you. I was very quick to the right-handedness. Toast, and I like making trees that grow lambs. Is that something that happens in this game? I think.
Yes.
Something like that. Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a.
Very best kind.
See, it's fucking there was a lot that I don't remember. I just remember this game is deceptively long. Like I think it's got
It
like
is.
fucking over 40 hours to it, even past like all of the other characters.
Yeah, easy.
But yeah, I decided just for the sake of like introduction brevity of me not playing this for years, we went ahead and just started a new game. And we got Sarah, by the way. Didn't even introduce you, buddy.
Hi.
Damn, dude, you just
It's me.
Did you play through Odin Sphere, Sarah? Because
I
I
did.
honestly
I
started
loved
it. I
this
never
game.
finished it though. Yeah,
I loved this game so much.
it's the
And,
art style. I think that really hooks
Absolutely.
you in first.
Like
yeah.
you saw when I forget who that girl's name is, but when she like flops into that chair, it looks like the most comfortable chair in the universe.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess like the hand drawn animation really does kind of make everything look and feel. It has such an impact
Yeah.
on it because it is.
Well, no other company
Mhm.
out there does this sort of level of detail in their animation as Vanilaware does.
Mhm.
And I think more than any other game, perhaps this one here exemplifies their 2D skill in ways that really hasn't been seen before or since.
Yeah, there's a lot of subtlety to the animations, like, and even then, it's really weird because, of course, everybody kind of wants to fall back on like, oh, Japan, but like, I never really get what mythology or what exact what kind of fiction or subject matter. It's like a melting pot because like I want to say this is like Norse mythology, but then like there's some fucking straight Brothers Grimm shit in here too.
Yeah.
It's really weird, but I dig it.
There are very fairy tale aspects to it.
Yeah, there's a shitload of exposition, and like I have to say, especially too, because like Atlas has already got like a pretty good rep for like their localization as far as what they get going on for voice work, but considering with everything moving on and just like all the beautiful like just the depth alone, this is PS2 tech, but like that foreground, just that swaying bush right there. Everything has just like this vibrant sense of life. I don't know. I will say though, like compared to like Muramasa and Princess Crown, Odin Sphere is actually my least favorite.
For me, because I've played a lot of those as well, I always thought that it looked amazing. Aesthetically, it's a great game, and I mean, it obviously holds up to the standards that you would expect from Vanillaware. But I never understood the gameplay very much. Like Muramasa is very straightforward. It's hack and slash. Dragon's Crown. It's a beat 'em up. I mean, all the aspects of the gameplay are very straightforward. Odin Sphere had so many weird things going on for it, and the fact that like you had to always do like this backtracking and the almost spherical, navigation where it's kind of like the rounded you're running, like it kind of throws you off. Like, I mean, well, I appreciate it because there is depth to it, but at the same time, it's not for people just going into it. It's not very straightforward.
No, it's not. But the one thing that I'm sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
No, I was gonna say like in terms of like the gameplay, there's kind of like a very heavy barrier of entry in terms of like time invested into sort of getting it going.
You never take that little dude seriously. You just like, like what expression? How many? Like how expressive does that guy really got to get for me to believe if he's in danger? He just that guy is like the Mr. Magoo of Odin Sphere.
He's like nothing more than a moving beard.
Oh man. Ooh, look at you, pretty boy.
His shadow form is perhaps one of the best animated things I've ever seen.
I always appreciate though, like the bosses in these games are always so massive. Like how they can do that on that with that kind of depth of animation on that scale is amazing.
Well, I mean, it kind of shows on the PS2 is in specific where it sort of slows down when stuff gets really gray. But,
yeah, it's true.
Which, it's something that, benefited on like the Wii's hardware where it was like 3 times as powerful as PS2, right? But, I mean, even then, you're right. I mean, on the PS2 as it was, this is probably the pinnacle of 2D that has ever been seen on the system.
Yeah, I want to say too, like there's some other notable ones as far as like, I mean, hand drawn. No, this one definitely fucking takes it. I will have to say too, the tutorial is a bit obnoxious. I wish we could have skipped past it, but at the same time, there's it's really weird what Vanilaware did too, and it's funny because like this is also kind of like what goes as far as the direction of my critique for. Their future endeavors after this, which was Muramasa and Dragon's Crown, just like where they decided to put the emphasis for tutorials, because like just these little things, honestly, like it's so semantical. You don't need to do a tutorial over like combos or stuff like that. Just like let me do like the fact that I had to do that in order to progress was a little dumb.
Yeah.
Especially with the size of the manual.
Oh God, yeah. Just, but yeah.
Remember those guys? Remember manuals?
Yeah.
Oh man, it's so funny too because like
the fact that it's full color helps.
Yeah.
But most manuals now are on the inside jacket of most like game case jacket covers. I think that's the best part. Like
I even appreciate like this one. I remember the pre-order bonus. I remember pre-ordering it. And you got the art book, which they've done with almost most of their games since. I don't know if Muramasa had an art book or not. I know Dragon's Crown did, but that's always nice. I mean, obviously it focuses so much on the art that,
Yeah,
I always thought that was kind of cool.
I don't think it actually did. I'm pretty sure I would have gotten that.
Yeah, I think, and like I'm also in that weird camp where like this art's absolutely gorgeous, and Muramasa even better. But
yes.
I can't get behind Dragon's Crown. I think Dragon's Crown is just...
It's my favorite.
It was taken to pretty crazy extremes, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it's perhaps not their best.
Do you think maybe it got overshadowed as a game by the fact that they did, have such a outcry of the female, protagonists and how they were portrayed?
The easy answer is yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure it goes more into depth. We've had that conversation before. Several times actually, because that was kind of a hot topic for a while.
I'm sure we'll be having more time to weigh in on that subject when Smash Brothers releases.
Oh goodness!
Hold on, I'm new to this one. What's going on? What's the latest Samus. Smash Brothers?
Oh, apparently the new Zero Suit Samus is too overtly sexual with her high heel rocket shoes.
It's Nintendo, though. Nintendo would be the first ones to say, "Oh, we're not doing that." If they're cool with it, I can't imagine why no one else would be.
Well, dude, it's a skin tight suit.
Mm-hmm.
It's a skin tight suit, and like Samus's frame is already like what. See, but like she's never been like. Is it just her presentation that kind of gives a sexy vibe?
Compared to what it was in Brawl is, I think, the main objection right now.
Like Samus is always like, especially like from her and like other M, Samus has always been like that really awkward introvert. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like Nintendo somehow added to her fiction like, oh, Samus Aran suffers from Asperger's. Like fucking, I wouldn't be surprised. There's nothing like sultry or sensual in her character at all.
Mm-hmm.
Those berries,
dude. I love that. The planting and the alchemy were like kind of hard to get used to, but still like two of my favorite parts about the game.
I personally, okay, so the planting I enjoyed, but I did find the annoyance of like having to feed it potential, like the purple spheres that already power. They already fuel like your magic attacks, as you can see to the upper left-hand corner. They're, you know, it's definitely got to throw like a little risk reward, but it's not even like the fact that like it's gonna take that as a resource. Is you gotta plant it near in an area, or at least lure enemies towards the plant, because like those floaty fucking things like just kind of go where they please. So, and that's where the like, I don't know, the range in which the plant actually absorbs them is kind of poor.
Really? I used to think, or I
I
felt
never
anyways,
had
that
good luck with like
you
the
could be like
plants,
halfway
man.
across the map and it would go, right? But
Dude, this is
Oh,
definitely
crap,
one of
Odin.
my favorite like characters in the game. Like that's an Odin
Yeah.
ass Odin.
yeah, it is.
Like fucking
And that
Odin
background is
sleep!
freaking awesome. It's a great background.
Oh yeah, like I said, like it takes all these different mixtures of like Brothers Grimm and like European, like almost like especially like European color scheme. I want to say, especially like right now, like this is something. Like I want to say it the obvious that it's definitely got like kind of a Van Gogh color palette, but like even like with the art style and everything done, like the art style is like this liberal take on like Norse mythology with like Japanese sensibility. Like just look at the juxtaposition between Gwendolyn and fucking Odin. It's weird.
I just like that Odin's super patriotic. He's wearing those stars and stripes, man. He don't care. He's all
He's a real American.
He's all about that red, white, and blue.
Just yeah, but like but that exaggerated frame, like like the size of his biceps are bigger than his fucking head.
His wrist,
I
his
love
forearm.
that. His wrist.
Forearm, his
bigger than
toes
his
huge.
neck.
The
He has
Hellboy
faces.
fist right there.
But no, if anything, in like we'll kind of touch to like my biggest critique. There is one thing, almost like if we were to get into the headspace of all the journalists or just anyone period who had to honestly review this game within its respective release, there's one thing that honestly I think just holds back this game for being so much better than it is. Like it's something that sincerely just fucked with me. I did not enjoy it like at all, and we'll hit it. It's definitely like, and if anything, I felt like it added to the difficulty in like the worst fucking way. It was awful. Fuck it. We'll just touch on it right now, and I'll show you guys the detail. But like, what fucking game? Like, what sense does it make, especially with something that's so resource heavy as you can imagine? Like with everything going on, battle wise, what fucking sense does it make to like make me have to consider multiple forms of currency? Like, it's garbage.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, dude, it's awful. And like, I don't even like. I think somebody was telling me like the trick to it is just like finding a place that allows you to manage exchange rate between the most common form of currency to the most uncommon. But like, that's so much fucking work. Just that doesn't add any depth to it. That's a chore.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, yeah.
Shadow Knight,
I'll get behind that. Yeah.
Human. He seemed human to me.
I forget it having multiple currencies. It must have been a while since I played it.
Ooh, look at this guy. He's the Swiffer
That
picker-upper right here. This fucking guy. How many bangles does you got honestly got a fucking sport on you, dog? Look at this. But like, I can't tell. Like, what is that? Is he drinking out of that horn? Is that him like getting ready to fucking do his battle cry?
No, he's toast drinking out of it.
Oh yeah. He's getting his meat on.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Fucking that cherry red nose, that fucking tomato nose.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know what he's all about, though.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then this
And now the birds.
where'd the inspiration for like the anthropomorphic like personified maid rabbit come from? Like
The
I
curse.
remember forest creatures really being cool with like Odin and his fucking Viking like folk.
How far did you get into this? Did you beat the whole thing?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Okay, so I beat
Well.
okay, from like my past play with this, I beat the Valkyrie It's just because, and like we'll get to it. They're like, this is why, honestly, out of all the Vanillaware games that we've got, and this being the second one, because of course Princess Crown, this one, Muramasa, and then Dragon's Crown. This game is honestly my least favorite of the 4.
There's actually also a missing link that was released on PSP. I forget what it was called, but it was only released in Japan, of course.
Is it like its own individual game, or is it a tie-in to one of the 4?
No, it's its own game. I totally forget what it was called, though, but it does exist.
And, like, you know, I enjoy the fact that they're so convicted of the exposition, but this shit's just creepy right here. This, like, imaginary, like, Tyler Durden bird. Like, fucking...
Tyler Burden? What?
Tyler Durden, man. Mm-hmm. Project Mayhem-ass bird here.
I do like Tyler Bird, and I'd watch a bird form of Fight Club.
Oh, Tyler Bird. Oh, I get it.
Yeah, there it is.
Dude.
Yeah.
God damn it.
That was a stealth pun he had there.
Yeah, that was a stealth pun. Because at first, I'm just like, I don't think this bird's done anything to directly burden me, per se, other than, like, cause emotional, basically awaken emotional anguish that I'm trying to repress. Like, that's the only burden this fucking bird's doing.
Stop it.
Mm-mm.
If I sacrifice myself for my duty,
But, like,
I will surely show
you know,
itself for me.
I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think this game's, like, honestly aged well?
I think it has, only because I put the time into it to really enjoy it. Because I'll be the first to admit that the Valkyrie story arc, like the Gwendolyn story arc, is a very, very long and sort of drawn out phase.
Oh,
but it really, really picks up afterwards. Once you really get the hang of things.
There's 4 playable characters. I believe there's Gwendolyn, and there's the Shadow Knight, and then there's like this witch woman, I believe, the one in the red hood.
What's her name? Velvet, I think.
Yeah, and then isn't there a bunny warrior?
There is, yeah.
Yeah, see,
and
there's
then there's
so much,
also
like, this game
there's
is
also
so
a fairy as well.
long.
There's 6 or 7 characters.
And like, here's another factor too, like, which again, I enjoy the fact that it definitely tries to make combat intelligent, but it's just when you throw the sheer numbers and then like the real estate of the screen between airborne enemies and hordes of other enemies, and like, for example, like your starting magic attack is the Cyclone attack, and it's supposed to basically work as your crowd control move. It does it's horrible for crowd control. I don't know. There's just certain aspects where I feel like the game, like, it's unpolished. Like, and it's weird too, because wasn't there a rumor that Vanillaware was going to release this as a bundle with Muramasa?
Yeah, on Vita.
Yeah, like, but was that?
I remember that.
I remember that.
I remember that being in the original announcement, and then it just ended up being Muramasa.
Yeah, I remember that there was supposed to be like HD versions of both this and Muramasa for PS3, and they ended up just making the PS2 release for this, and then they did Muramasa for Vita.
Yep. And then, is it true that you can get Princess Crown on the Japanese PSN?
I want to say that
I heard that was the case, but I don't know if that's true or not.
But I think Princess Crown is a Saturn only.
Well, because I think it got.
Did it have
it was on
PSP.
It was on PSP, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if that's maybe the version you would get on PSN is like the PSP version, maybe.
It would be, yeah.
Okay, I don't know if I do that then. Because can you do Japanese accounts on your Vita?
Yes.
Yes. But you need yen cards.
Yeah. Which
well,
would be
you need
as
that
hard
too
to buy.
for like the Japanese PSN account on your PS3.
Which I have one, yeah. Though the yen cards can.
Yeah, they can.
Okay,
like,
so it's only on
retailers-
PlayStation Portable.
Pricier than importing the Saturn version.
Yes, because you're paying twice as much for the currency as it's actually worth.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not a rare or expensive game. Like, you can honestly pick it up for like a clean $40.
Yeah,
Really?
plus
The
like
Saturn?
the the PSP is also region free, right? So you don't have to really worry
I
about
don't
that.
have a PSP anymore. I should probably. I can't
Yeah,
be as
and
lucky as
that's
some
actually
people
what
get
I was
$20.
really these fucking butterflies here too. And see, like, I enjoy the spider. It's just weird. I think it's the mapping too, because at first I enjoy it, but then like it's very cumbersome because these spherical areas are all essentially just rooms. And anytime you have to backtrack, none of them are cleared. There's always going to be enemies that respawn. So it's especially when there's like a limit to fucking... All right, so here we go. We got Cyclone. I'm using it. Doesn't exactly do... Like, really? That's the crowd control you've got? Well, okay, I did take out a couple of them, but, like, that's after I had to soften them up, though.
Not even.
Oh, yeah, can't really... Those Phozons, you gotta fucking... Honestly, the one move within Gwendolyn's arsenal as far as the Valkyrie, I do like those, like the random crits that you can get from combos. Yeah. But you can't even mindlessly combo because, like, we kind of, like, you know, skipped over that, so to speak, or, you know, it was just more of an oversight when they were originally talking about it in the beginning. That POW meter that's above the hit point is the amount of energy that's expounded anytime you're like even when you're just swinging without even actually landing anything directly, you are exhausting yourself. So there's a cooldown time just for attacking, and like I said, like it makes combat more intelligent, but god damn, it's so inconvenient when you're surrounded. Like if anything, you're playing a game of evasion.
Maybe so, but at the same time, you got to admit, it makes you more... You're right, it does make you more conscious of what you're doing, so it sort of... It forces you to apply more finesse to your combat.
Yeah, but if anything, I don't know.
It helps. It helps for the later bosses too, right?
So here we're showing the spider graph area, and see like... If I were to go down through that door, I would have been able to progress. Again, just checking out here, I'm trying to get myself familiar. So going through this door would take me back from like areas which I have, and you can like that's the one thing. You are capable of grinding, which you know, doing what you need to do, to kind of get those extra points, and not only that, anytime you need to recuperate. Also, I will say this: randomly eating fucking fruit and shit will sometimes like randomly boost your hit point pull threshold.
Oh, no, it does,
I like that. And so here I'm kind of showing what we've got here, and like I will say this: the optional rooms do kind of play heavy into that whole risk reward. Like, do I go and did I get those items? But yeah. See, there's not a lot of exposition done to explain the room. I'm going to admit, like, there are points here where I did find myself kind of trying to get a grasp of it. B rooms, of course, are... Bosses, mini-bosses.
Yeah, blue ones are mini-bosses, red ones are the main boss.
Oh, God, dude.
I think it's how it works
out. So many fucking bosses, too. It's really weird, though.
What is this, Alien Soldier?
Dude.
I mentioned it. Let's see what happens.
Well, the difference being is that this game's fun to an extent. It's just it's very flawed. Like I don't know. I cleared this area, but the respawn rate's pretty quick. Like there's just no room for a I think the only like truly safe rooms are like the shop rooms, and I don't even think they're truly safe near the end of the game. So here we go. You see I've exhausted like my POW, but that was like my last attack. That like, and fuck, dude, like you don't just earn the experience. It doesn't just come to you. You have to initiate an action to absorb it in. It's brutal, dude. This game, like, I feel like it's just brutal in the wrong way. But here we go. So I've already gone through some resources just from the challenge. You know, talk to this very friendly, dopey, fucking court jester ass shopkeep.
The wickedest of 5 o'clock shadows.
Yeah, I got, but you gotta love his nope demeanor. It's just great. But here we go. Like I see the resources that like here, like look at the expedition. 40G, 5G. Like everything is within my price range at first, and then look at this shit. Like.
What the fuck?
I can't buy anything. What, like, why? What, like, there's absolutely nothing. It does nothing to add to the game. It takes away from the game. I don't even have any means to, like, even somewhat, I micromanage my supplies for all the wrong reasons. Because, like, there's no way I can even restock. And, like, there's like, I believe chests, like the chests that you saw is like kind of come across and just, you know, open up at the completion of like other stages. I believe those are the only ways you can really get currency. Like fucking enemies don't drop them. Like the drops on currency are stupid to begin with, but you're gonna give me 5 fucking kinds of currency to manage.
Well, it's because there are different countries, obviously, right? So you have to make sure that you've got the currency that works in the country that you're in. I think you can get it all converted in the main palace.
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning.
Valkyries are world travelers, so obviously they get different kinds of currency. So you know.
But I mean, this isn't like we're not talking about like American Express convenience here. Like the fucking conversion rate is pretty bad.
Can they get like traveler's checks, perhaps?
Visa is everywhere you want to be except for here.
Yes. They don't take Visa in Valhalla.
No.
They do not.
And like
Visa Hala.
Just the fact that, but like, honestly, how semantical is that? That like I'm already trying my best to like earn and, you know, basically kind of raise capital, and yet I have to set aside capital to basically convert capital for other capital for areas that I'm going like come on, man, that's not
sounds like a capital offense. But seriously, if nothing else, it makes the world more believable. Because I mean, if you take an American dollar to the UK, what are they going to do? You're going to have to get it exchanged into pounds, right?
I just kind of think this is like using a Dark Souls style of gameplay. You know, like it doesn't really, I mean, it does a tutorial in the beginning, but you kind of have to figure out what you're doing and how mechanics work. Like, how does alchemy work, or how does this currency work? You know, they don't really tell you exactly how to do it or make it easier for you. They just say, okay, we'll figure it out. You know, it's like, well, this is stupid. Why are you doing this? Oh, because fuck you. Like, I don't care. You know, I mean, that's Dark Souls mentality. Like, oh, you haven't figured it out yet? All right, well, tough shit. Figure it out, and then you can get somewhere. Like, I don't know, maybe not as hardcore as Dark Souls, but I do think it is a more of a challenging aspect of gameplay.
So see, I'm kind of playing like resource management here. You know, I've got seeds, but I don't really have like a lot of like minion fodder that I can kind of take out in waves to kind of even feed like the necessary nutrients of XP that the seeds need to begin with. Here I'm just like, oh, I've got attack items. Might as well just
awesome,
like...
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I completely forgot. This game also has status effects. Dizziness, poison, like I think even paralysis. So, okay, here we go. I've got what I need here, but... You know, this enemy, this boss, is very mobile, and even then, like, it's like my tactics here are basically try to create some distance, try to kind of like close a gap between numbers.
Nope, jump halfway across the thing.
Yeah, he just hulks out, and like, you know, the enemies, they don't really telegraph like their attacks very well. Like he's got a rush attack. I want to say he turns red right before he just like goes fuck you and rams his shit into me, but
you wouldn't know because it cuts off the screen so much that he might be doing a charge attack. You wouldn't even know it because he's off the screen.
I
that's the thing I
basically
don't
have
like.
to pay attention to the animations of his silhouette up in the right hand corner, which is nice, but like there isn't exactly a particular frame of sprite that telegraphs that attack. So I kind of have to keep... Like, it's really weird. There are bosses that you want to close a distance of tactical strategy between, like, you know, hit and runs, and you can't because you kind of got to keep... You kind of got to keep some semblance of, like, you know, close them together so that way you can read their attacks better for defense. It's like, man, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hate on it. I mean, this game's fun. I just feel like there's so many areas that could have been polished so much better. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you think about that, Sarah?
What I think is that if you've got the time to put into it, it's the most rewarding RPG, one of the most rewarding RPGs the PS2 has to offer. Because like I said, the Gwendolyn story arc, like I said, does take a long time to get through, and it might be bordering on too long, but the rest of it is nice and snappy.
It's just like
I think the reason it's so long is to get you used to all of the different mechanics that are at play, because once you get used to them and once you know what's going on, it makes the rest of the game very, very much more enjoyable.
and don't get me wrong, I'm all about investment. Really, I am. This Resident Evil 4 motherfucker here. I'm just a businessman in a blood-stained land.
He's still repping those.
Got a lot of good
stars.
stuff for sale, stranger.
What are you buying?
What are you selling?
Not enough
I'll buy
cash.
it
Well, of
at
course
a
not
high
enough fucking
price.
cash. There's 5. There's 5 fucking.
I gotta give you 2 of these
Not
silver
enough
ones, but I only have 4 of the blue ones.
And
Or
see, like, there was something that, like, could have immediately, like, I would not complain. Okay, if they were to kind of incorporate a system where, like, this nation's currency is worth this much. Basically, if merchants were able to do the conversion right there and then, it wouldn't bother me so much.
Microsoft
But, like,
points. They make you buy Microsoft points. That's how it works. You have 18 titanium gold. This will get you 1,600 Microsoft points.
Dude, if this is like microtransactions before microtransactions were microtransactions, I'll quit.
They alluded to it. Yep, they knew about
like
everyone
this
else.
play's already done. Fuck it, you guys don't get to watch the rest.
Like, I don't want any Allard bucks or whatever people used to call them. Is that what it was?
We called them Allards.
I call them Allards.
Allards, yeah.
What is that guy even doing now? Like, I don't fucking know. Like, it's pretty. I find it strange that like Molyneux's in the picture longer than that dude's been.
Yeah.
But like,
that was back when people were rocking the. Oh shit! What was the look back then?
the X Blades, dude. The blades.
Well, no, I'm trying to think. Like, wasn't it like the? Shit! No, I'm talking about like when they, like when they did like the press conferences, like, hey dudes, what's up? They try like all these like corporate guys trying to like, look casual. They always were like
the polos.
We're hip.
The edgy frat boy polos.
It might have been that. It was either that or like the it might have been the blazer with like the shirt underneath, that kind of look. What's up, guys? We're just like you, man. Just like you.
And I want to say motherfucker, miss that goddamn chest, which could have had the currency
Still got good
that I
ranking.
may have needed. But like, yeah, the game has definitely got the capacity. And like, look at that drop. 1 coin.
Mhm.
1 fucking coin. I will say though, like, as far as completionists are concerned, like, there are rooms, of course, I am definitely skipping over for the sake of expediency. And correct me if I'm wrong, sir. You can also re-enter stages all over again after completing them on the larger overarching world map, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So like the game definitely possesses all the capacity to grind, but like I don't know, man. There's like all these little nuances that like the game wants to implement to try to distinguish itself, and like it just ends up making the entire thing a bit more cumbersome.
Really, it all really starts to pick up when the food porn gets implemented.
Oh,
Start
yeah.
making all these like amazing looking
Yeah.
dishes. Never play this game hungry.
Cooking it up.
It's torture, man.
Yeah, Dragon's
But,
Crown does the same thing too. Like when you prepare
yes.
meals and stuff, it does the same thing.
I see
Mhm.
he risks his own life.
So apparently, the guys that make these games are really into chicks and food.
And food,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's soups into it.
Yeah, but like, and I love how all their women too are designed like Lisa Frank stickers. Like Jesus, I can't even tell like what that is.
the
Like, is
fuck
that a
does that mean?
boa around her?
Those are
How's Lisa-
leaves, and like she's part tree, right? So
Sure, I get that.
Well,
Because
you know,
trees
and
have,
see, like, this
wonder
level of
puffs.
buxom, buxom's fine. But
Yeah,
like,
it's not Dragon's Crown level.
no,
No.
like Dragon's Crown level is basically like scoliosis. Scoliosis from like just like straight back problems galore.
My reinforcements have arrived.
But I'm all for. Oh, look at her give you a little curtsy. Look at this motherfucker here. This magic Koopa ass. Prick.
censored by a word bubble,
Oh man.
but not anymore.
No.
Do you still dare to speak so impudently?
Ooh.
Oh, this dragon. Slow down.
Roar.
Jesus though.
Can't even fit on the damn screen.
Yeah, and like it's moments like this too where like these like larger than life enemies, and especially like the animations and the sprites. Like I said, there's a vibrant. there's a vibrance that you know you kind of mull over, but you can definitely engage yourself with, especially within like these little touches, like Gwendolyn, you know, looking around her area, and like even though this is on a strict 2-dimensional plane, there's always so much depth that's going on. But see, what is this? Why is he spitting like these dragon's lair fucking?
What is this junk?
Like pottery all at me. I it's so much. And see, this attack right here definitely comes in handy for like larger enemies. And if you're able to like kind of, you know, get through, and like I don't I'm not exactly really hip with like what the chain exactly adds to as far as multipliers are concerned. Like I don't know if that will essentially, like I don't know if that adds to like the potential for a crit attack, or if that just helps my XP, or I would assume probably.
That is
like,
true. I guess they should have always like brought up like a hit points or something, or like at least give you the option to bring it up. But I'm sure on the screen it probably would just fuck.
Yeah,
up.
like
It'd fuck
you know, I just
up.
got a crit right there, and I can only imagine like did that crit like happen after landing so much of a success's chain?
Mhm.
Like, you know, that's a little like, it's just weird how like that's the part that goes unexplained. And here we go. There's like these random little boosts where just like, oh, you eating that item raised your entire hit point pool.
Yeah, that's what food does.
Look at me in that gullet. Ugh, that completely just reduced like any hit points I may have recovered from that mulberry seed down to nothing. Broke even. So
I'll tell you one thing though, when it comes down to the sound in this game, it's an instant winner. The Hitoshi Sakamoto soundtrack is one of the best that he's done.
I just, you know, I would probably say that this game's probably gonna get a new lease on life, hopefully on the Vita, if they decide to go that way. But you know, it's just funny. There is another one, dude. We completely forgot too. You guys remember Grim Grimoire?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Is that Vanillaware?
I have.
Yeah,
that
that's Vanillaware. I completely forgot
shit.
about that. And like, what's weird is that like that one is the one that like.
That's like an RPG.
Yeah, but
right?
that's like.
Well, no, it's real-time strategy.
Union.
Oh, is
I
it
wanna
a
say, like,
tactics kind of?
No, it's real time strategy.
Really? I don't.
Oh,
I
yeah.
remember it like it. Fuck. It's
I
almost
featured
like
that-
it wasn't it kind of like tower defense too.
A little bit. I featured that in my very first video ever, which was Casually Hardcore Episode 1.
Yeah, and you know that game definitely didn't do so well commercially nor critically when it came out. Like I think that's the redheaded stepchild of like Vanillaware. But yeah, I knew there was one we were.
Also, it
missing.
was published by NIS, so no surprises there.
Yeah. In fact, yeah, I think that's why everybody forgets about it too, because every other like
Atlas,
Vanillaware is Atlas.
Well,
This fucking
Axis
shit right
picked up
here.
Muramasa.
Who did?
And it was
Oh,
UT
yeah.
Ignition that did it on the Wii.
Who was the publisher for Muramasa on the Wii?
UTV Ignition.
Oh, yeah, right.
Was that like in Bettenhausen kind of wanted to get it over
Yeah,
here?
exactly. It was
Yeah, but
that and
I
El
think he was
Shaddai are the
like,
reason.
Benhausen's like, I think the one that he was championing the hardest around the time was El Shaddai,
El Shaddai, yeah.
which man,
again, amazing game.
yeah, it's like, dude, when it came $3, like that's a game I feel like is gonna weirdly like age incredibly well, especially with the visuals. Like the art style in that game is so beautiful, and like the lack of exposition helps that game. It doesn't hurt it at all. Like
I
it
would
just
go
it
so
makes
far
everything.
to say that it has the best use of color in the 7th generation.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, like it's a shame that really, but you know, if you're gonna get it, and you have like, if you're trying to consider like what machine to play it on, definitely the 360.
Really?
You know, fucking this poison. Like, you know, I've completely forgot that I had these attack items. You know, there's one thing too, because like in most RPGs, like some bosses are subject to some sort of status effect.
Ooh.
And like I've noticed that none of the they're very overpowered in Odin Sphere. I don't know. All right, so here, I'll toss one out here, guys. If they were to do some sort of Vanillaware collection, especially for like next gen, because next gen could definitely handle like, you know, I would say all the titles. What is the one feature you'd like to come see to Odin Sphere? Because I've got one for you right fucking now.
What do we want to see?
Yeah, what would you think would totally like make this game like way better? Because I've got one like literally right on the tip of my tongue.
Well, the lack of slowdown, obviously, right? But
I don't know. Is it an obvious answer?
I would. Well,
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Online
What would you
multiplayer,
say?
dude.
What would you say would make it a better game?
Online multiplayer.
I was gonna say co-op.
I don't know about that.
Why don't you think this? Like, do you think they'd have to
understand.
severely redesign this game to like?
They
get the
did. It's
co-op
called
mode?
Dragon's Crown. Just play Dragon's Crown. And the sad thing about Dragon's Crown, and that's the other thing that's fucked about that game. Like, I don't understand how Vanillaware develops their games sometimes. Like, obviously with this, your pet peeve is like the money, the currency. Dragon's Crown, you can't play online multiplayer with someone until you reach level 16. They will not let you play multiplayer with someone else until you get to a certain level. And it takes you like 4 or 5 hours of gameplay to get to that level if you're doing it casually. If you're not hardcore trying to play through.
That's not the
Like, why
smart
do
way to
that?
content.
Why do that? Why force you into playing the game single player with bots if it's strictly supposed to be a co-op game? I mean, it's made to be a 4-player beat 'em up. It's like, why do that? I have no idea.
Like, I don't know. I think if you were to implement online multiplayer to like Odin Sphere, it would really hurt the rest of the game. Like, it would help in the early stages, but the rest of the game is so in depth with how you build your characters and how you're crafting your food and other junk that it just kind of wouldn't work.
Well, how about this then? It's multiplayer only for Gwendolyn.
Just
Like,
that
yeah,
first part, man.
you
Just that
should get
first part.
extra exposition. You'd be able to, like, they change the story around, maybe get that
I don't know.
like, her super dead sister to not super die.
I think
No,
what
that would totally
happen-
fuck things.
I think what would happen is you'd end up having to make it kind of like a battle block theater kind of situation where you've got a completely designed one-player mode, but a totally differently designed two-player mode that is completely different from one another in both structure and playability.
Okay, I can get behind that, because I was about to say they'd really have to do a lot of rebalancing if they just threw co-op.
Yeah, so I
into
mean,
this.
they could call it like Odin Sphere Complete, and that would have like 2 versions of the game to play, one for multiplayer, one for single player.
Swear
And
to
the single
God,
player
Sarah,
would
the-
have like a more, like kind of a more in-depth thing, so that you can sit down and just sort of chew away at it for hours. But if you just want to putz around and like kill some guys, you know, a less in-depth multiplayer mode is available.
I swear, with all the ideas you drop sometimes, Sarah, I always feel like you make fucking games for Japanese develop on the side. Like, seriously,
It
Odin
was,
Sphere
right?
Complete. Like, that is the most Japanese thing I've ever heard for any fucking Japanese re-release ever.
He's already doing game soundtracks. It's an eventually
it's
he's gonna do
an
developing.
eventuality, man. But-
I would like to see them do it in widescreen. 'Cause I feel like you could actually see more of the
yes,
game.
no,
with
that'd be
widescreen.
great for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, you know, because especially with the fact that like you can do 1080, like this game, like at its highest is like 480,
Yeah.
and like that's pushing it with the PS2 with component resolution, everything. I feel like if you zoomed out a bit, like especially with like what's going on, like I don't think a loss of the details or anything would happen, because yeah, it goes back to what me and Andrew were kind of complaining about, like. You have you know, to play it smart, especially against bosses that have like all these devastating moves and give you such little time to react. You have to like be able to telegraph the boss's movements, but you can't keep distance because you can't fucking see the boss's movements. So there we go. I took this stupid son of a bitch out. Very little fanfare for my victory here.
Yeah, that's true. Like no. Yeah, like you.
Well,
assume-
it's getting to it. We just gotta load the motherfucker. Ooh, he's straight coming in, making a personal appearance.
The enemies are
Oh yeah, the
retreating.
cauldron is like this crazy machine.
Yeah,
It
that's
looks
a trying
nuts.
to power. Is it just me, or does it kind of look like the same thing Rita Repulsa uses to make like fucking creatures? Like, oh
little
my
bit.
pretty! She throws her staff. Look, they're in the sand already. She just has to throw her staff from the sky, and then fucking thing activates.
It's like
Who is the blue dude that always like sculpted the monsters? The guy with the glasses and beard. What is his name?
Oh, I remember him. Yeah, but I totally don't remember. It's like, I don't know.
Everybody just remembers
It's all on
Goldar.
Netflix, so I mean, you know, I could
Yeah.
probably look it up. There it is. Oh yes.
Rangers. Like, oh, I don't remember.
It looks like a metal slug boss.
It does. Just looking
Yeah,
for
no,
that
it totally
black
does.
X
Fight.
on it.
Fairies have kept it hidden for so long.
No, it's funny. It's really creepy though, and it like they call it a cauldron, but it looks like some steampunk heart.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they've got all these arteries and fucking like cardiac valves, and look at that. Look at all
I
these
must
cardiovascular valves.
I must not play enough
Powering
of
the
here
world.
because it like takes like you said like a fantasy, you know, fairy tale mixed with, you know, Norse mythology mixed with technology. Like, I don't know, there's like so much stuff going on. That seems like a very tech ass thing to have, like that huge ass thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, like there's a flare of mysticism to it.
Yeah, like you're combining these things and using magic to kind of power it.
What?
Yeah, but like, and she's a playable character too, right? So there's how many playable characters are there, Sarah? Because and I know you like start their
Minimum.
campaigns.
Minimum 6. I think there's a total of 7. Something like that. It's been a long time since I played this game, to be honest.
All right, well, we're reaching the end here. I
But I
mean,
played
you
a
guys
lot.
got to get a taste. I mean, we might revisit Odin Sphere in the future with different characters, but I don't know, man. Definitely not one of my favorite Vanillaware games. I wanted to like this game a little bit more.
I think it did establish them as a pretty good developer. I just hope they do more for next gen.
I bought my second copy for $4. If you can find it, buy it.
Get it on PSN too. It's like $10.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, play, y'all.